Nuggets first quarter think they're going to lead. Nuggets second quarter, they're going to get the kicked out of them. Like, that's going to happen. They're just going to get the crap kicked out of them because of the way that the Clippers build their lineups, unless Denver dramatically adjusts.
And maybe not even arguably, but to me, this is arguably the most interesting series in this round. I have no idea how this is going to go. This is the one that's probably the toughest for me, Matt. You're very close to the Nuggets, obviously, and you've been covering them throughout the season, and you've been cautioning me at moments where I've had optimism about this team.
Yeah,
they fired Michael Malone.
They did.
Where are they at now heading into the playoffs?
So the vibes are better. Cleaning out. It's not just Michael Malone. It's cleaning out Calvin Booth versus Michael Malone. So it's that dynamic has shifted. So their locker room's able to kind of come together with a fresh start. Like, there's no longer like your Booth guy, your Malone guy feuding over that. Peyton Watson, Jalen Pickett, those guys were kind of caught in the crossfires. So the roster, I think, is more together. The problem is like, coming together doesn't mean that you're not garbage defensively. And like, this is really the question. To me, the Nuggets have so much more firepower than this Clippers team. This Clippers team, it's like, well, but they have Kawhi, great, very elite mid-range shooter when he's available and on the court and plays and is active and engaged. They have James Harden. Yeah, really great passer, incredible passer, can hit the floater versus drop coverage. That's absolutely a weapon. Norman Powell. Okay, Norman's kind of faded off a little bit. Norman can score. He's got some power. Who after that? Ivica Zubac in the post? Is that what you want to go to? Because like, I don't think you want to go to that. That's not as efficient. If this is a 2-point battle, you're going to lose. Like, you're going to lose in a 3-point battle versus the Nuggets. You need to be able to hit threes consistently at volume to outpace Denver. Now, the counter here is that Denver's defense is so trash ass that they can actually just go ahead now and let you outpace them. If Denver's defense is tighter, which it has been under David Adelman, who has kind of shifted some of the defensive principles, they're playing a little bit more drop. They're staying home a little bit better on shooters. They're navigating those things a little bit better. The execution is still not there. There's going to be a lot of weak spots. Like, the Clippers are going to be able to pick what they want to attack here. But the overall efficiency, I think, is going to be a problem because this Nuggets offense is elite. It is. And so Chris Dunn, defender on Jamal Murray. Like, here's a good question is like, who's going to have a better time? Chris Dunn defending Jamal Murray, who has been healthy and looked like he has burst, or Aaron Gordon versus Kawhi Leonard, who's a much better player than Jamal, but doesn't necessarily like lift everybody up. He doesn't make everybody better. He's a good passer. He's not an elite passer. He's not a great playmaker. And Aaron is like, if you built in a lab a Kawhi defender, I would build Aaron Gordon. Big, rangy, length, athleticism, can stay with him, not going to get muscled off, discipline, going to be able to hang there. Now, Kawhi's going to cook him because it's Kawhi. And there's nothing you can do against his pull-up J. Like, there's nothing you can do. But if you're like, what's the best option? Aaron Gordon is about the best option you're going to find, I think, in the NBA. I worry about Aaron a lot in Denver in the Nuggets matchups because you have to have that, like, he's their best defender in the starting unit. And there's oftentimes not a good matchup for him. It's like a guard that's too fast or a big that's too big. And instead, this is just the right size. Like, this is Goldilocks matchup for Aaron Gordon. So all those things combined, it's really going to be a matter of, does Denver play to the level of defense it has all season, or does it play to the level of defense it's shown in particular times, which has been good defense for stretches? And I don't blame anybody for doubting it, because I think it's overall terrible because of personnel and scheme. But I do think the firepower matchup is a very big deal here.
So I have a few concerns with this series. One is just general health. That starts with Kawhi Leonard, obviously.
Yep.
He's been injured in playoff series. There's been times where he's been dominant in a playoff series and didn't finish the series in his career. Obviously, there's been injury concerns with him all season long. There are no more back-to-backs, so that's good. If he's healthy, he's going to go the rest of the way. We could assume that. But the if he's healthy part is big. Also, you mentioned Jamal Murray's health. I do wonder, and this is another concern I have, or actually, I'll phrase this in the form of a question. Should the depth for Denver be a concern now that you can kind of get away with going 7 or 8 deep, and you can play guys, like, this is the time of year where you have to play guys 40 plus minutes if absolutely necessary. And granted, against the Clippers can wear you down. And defensively, they're super talented on that end. I don't know if people are giving them enough credit necessarily. Do you think that the Nuggets not having to play as deep of a rotation is going to be beneficial for them, even against a defense that could be taxing to their already really good offense?
So there's a couple of weak points in the Nuggets second unit. Well, okay, there's nothing but weak points in their second unit. It's been awful this year, as it is almost every single year. There's something about playing with Jokic that actually makes you worse. I'm not sure what that is when he's not on the floor. Like there's something about playing with Jokic to where he's not on the court. This team gets drastic. Like they lose the ability to play basic basketball.
They rely on him a lot.
Yep. One of the things you want to get to is you want to get to Aaron Gordon at the 5, and that's hard when you're playing a traditional center who's got size, athleticism, strength, can basically just beat the crap out of Aaron. The Clippers don't have that. They're not playing really a traditional center in their backup 5 minutes. So it's a lot of small ball. Now, the problem is that Kawhi Leonard staggers with that second unit. That's the rotation they've been running, is that he comes out about the 4-minute mark and re-enters at the start of the second. That's disastrous for Denver. Denver against these staggered lineups gets murdered. It's one of the reasons I've advocated over and over and over again for them to do the same with Jokic. Jokic should leave at the 4-minute mark, re-enter at the beginning of the second, play 4 minutes, sit, and then close out the second quarter. Jokic doesn't want to do that. Jokic wants to play all 12 of the first and third, sit for 4 minutes, come back in at the 8-minute mark. The problem is then that 4 minutes, you can get absolutely, like they've lost double-digit leads consistently this season. Not once, not twice, over and over again, because Jokic will do the work and they'll have a double-digit lead. The starters will play great, and then the bench unit comes in and everything gets dicey. When you have Aaron at the 5, it raises it a little bit, but like there's a lot of, I think, question marks here because they had the addition of Bogdanovich. Like those second unit lineups for the Clippers are Bogdanovich and Kawhi. So like Nuggets first quarter think they're going to lead. Nuggets second quarter, they're going to get the shit kicked out of them. Like that's going to happen. They're just going to get the crap kicked out of them because of the way that the Clippers build their lineups unless Denver dramatically adjusts. But if it's Ben Simmons at the 5, Aaron Gordon's fine. And like that negates some of it. A lot of it is like the Nuggets want to get stops and run with that second unit. And they don't have a lot of action that they can kind of go to. I think the Nuggets can at least play them to where it's only like a -2, -4. And if you do that, you can make up for it with how good the starters are.
I don't think you're going to pick Denver to win this series.
I'm real close on it. Like it's borderline. Like every time, here's my gut instinct when I kind of I know a certain amount of elements in my head, and if I kind of take if I take a step back and I look at it, I'm just like the Nuggets have too much firepower. They're going to win the series in late games, like late number of series games. It's just like, do I really believe that this 23rd ranked defense that I've seen get torched for corner threes all season, do I really think that they're going to get enough stops to win a playoff series? If it was the Wolves, no. If it's the Lakers, no. If it's Houston, probably, but maybe, I don't know. Like Houston's really good.
Yeah.
But this Clippers team, here's a good question is, the Clippers with Kawhi are elite. That's what the numbers say, is that when he's on the court, they are not just like a good team, like they are elite. Their offense is 7 points better with him on the court. It's 117 offensive rating versus 110. They're plus 13 net, which is better than Jokic's on-court net with Kawhi. The question is like, all right, we have 2 months of sample here with Kawhi against a mostly not great strength of schedule. Do you believe it? Like, do you believe in that more than you believe in kind of the overall profile of the Nuggets? Because the overall profile of the Nuggets is like they're better, but it's that Kawhi sample. And that's what I think gets really tough. I don't blame anybody for taking Clippers. I'll take Nuggets in 7. I think this is a coin flip.
I think this is a coin flip also. I want to lean Nuggets in 7 also because of everything you laid out. Plus, I feel like I have a higher floor with Jokic, which sounds very obvious. But the top end of the Clippers roster, it's still a lot for me to be like, I'm going to trust Kawhi's health. And although he's been better than expected this year, James Harden's playoff history versus the best player in the NBA who just had a season that people are still talking themselves into voting for him for MVP. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but it gives you an idea of how consistent Jokic has been for the past few and perhaps several years at this point. And if Jamal Murray is healthy, which we're going into this series with the mindset that he is, I just like Denver more, especially because they don't have to go too deep into their bench. Now, beyond round 1 is where I struggle with them. Yeah. I struggle with them in this series too, to be clear. But once we get past this, and we're talking about the next round, where it's Oklahoma City more
Yeah.
than likely, then that's a little different. Maybe a lot different.
A big question mark here, honestly, is Nick Batum's health. He's got a groin injury, and
Sneaky important to them. Yes.
if he comes back, I'm going to start leaning towards Clippers. Like I think I'm just going to tilt that way. So that to me is like where we're going to get to is if because they can play Nick at 5, and now you have a stretch 5 that can, and honestly, he can disrupt Jokic in a lot of those minutes if Zoo's off the floor. If Zoo gets in foul trouble, Nick does as good a job as anybody of fronting. So Nick Batum injury is a big one to watch, I think, in the series, and could genuinely be the decider between the Nuggets advancing or the Clippers advancing. If
you're watching, let us know what you think about Nuggets Clippers, and let us know what you think about this next series we're about to talk about. We're going to keep it in the Western Conference. The 3-6 matchup, Lakers Wolves.